Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Jaoshago. Please, before you go any further, take a chance or take a minute. Just do for me a subscription and most likely a share and thumbs up. For today's episode, I want us to look at the intertestamental period. It is a period between the Old Testament and the New Testament. First, let us define the intertestamental period. What is this period? As I've said, intertestamental period, as the name suggests, is a gap in between the Old Testament and the New Testament. A bridge between the last prophet in the Old Testament and the first writings in the New Testament. That is the period between the book of Malachi and the book of Matthew. When we look at the book of Malachi, the writings in the book of Malachi, God sent prophet Malachi to go and speak to the people of Israel. Why? Because the people of Israel had gone astray to God's will. They had started doing their own wants, neglecting that of God. They started doing sacrifices that God did not recommend them to do. That's why Prophet Malachi was sent. And after Prophet Malachi, God went silent. What do we mean by silent? God did not literally send any prophet, any messenger to the people of Israel. We know that God used to speak to the people of Israel through prophets, through priests, through any other messenger. But during this period, the intertestamental period, God did not send any prophet, any messenger. Literally, God went silent. That's why it is called the 400 silent years. Who is silent? God. To who? The people of what? Israel. It is well explained up to there what the term intertestamental period means. It is the Protestants who call it the intertestamental periods. How does the Catholics call it? And the Eastern Orthodox Church, how do they call this period? They call this period the deuterocanonical what? Period. Why did the Eastern Orthodox and the Catholic Church call it the deuterocanonical period? It is a period where or when the deuterocanonical books were written. It is a period when we check the Bible of the Catholic Church and the Bible of the Protestant churches, there's a difference. The difference is in the number of books. In the Catholic Church, we have the 6 additional books. Let's count them. We have the Maccabees 1 and 2, Tobit, Esdras, Wisdom, and those others. These books were written during this period. Protestants call it intertestamental period. Catholics and the Eastern Orthodox people, they call it deuterocanonical period. Nelson Otieno, Jaoshago, let me call it the preparation period. Why am I calling it the preparation period? It is during this period that superpowers, the 3 major superpowers, ruled the world. 1, the Persian, the Greek, and the Romans. Remember, during this period, it was mostly Judaism. Judaism was a religion during that time. Judaism prevailed the world. Judaism prevailed Palestine. Judaism prevailed Israel. That was the religion of that time. So, why is Nelson Otieno, or why is me calling it the preparation period? According to me, when I see or when I look at what was happening during this period, all these things were being done in preparation for the coming Messiah. God made these powers rise. God made the Persians be. God made the Greeks rule the world. God made the Romans rule the world because he was preparing the people for the coming Messiah. Let us see the contribution of these three kingdoms for the ministry of Christ. Most likely, I'll talk about the Greek and the Romans. These two powers really contributed to the kingdom or to the ministry. So I want to concentrate on these major two kingdoms: the kingdom of the Greek and that of the Romans. They made a tremendous contribution to the coming order, to the preparation for the coming of the Messiah. Let's talk of the Greek. When the Greek came during this period, they brought with them the Greek culture. We call it the Hellenistical culture. That's why the Judah or the Judaism religion was mixed with the Greek religion or the Hellenistical culture to bring about what we call the Hellenistic Judaism. The Hellenistic Judaism, the Hellenistic Judaism was a combination of Judaism or the Judaism culture and that culture of the Greek. So the Greek brought a culture, they brought a language that everyone was forced to learn it. It means during this time, most probably, everybody spoke one language. The world was united under one language. Like today, almost everybody in the world is trying to learn English. Why? They want to have a one language that everybody could understand everyone whenever he or she is. The same applied during the time of the Greek. They brought a culture, they brought a language, the Greek culture or the Greek language that everybody was supposed to know. That's why we have the Greek philosopher, the great Greek. By the Greek brought about or contributed much to the world civilization. We have the Greek philosophers who really contributed much to the civilization. These dated back to this time that the Greek was powerful, was the world power. The Greek also brought about, the Greek brought about the culture, the architect, the design, everything. Let's talk about the Romans. The Romans, as the superpower during this time, remember the Romans were the great architects. Have you heard of this phrase that all roads leads to Rome? Why do all roads lead to Rome? Romans were good, all the great road builders, great architects. They made good roads, good buildings. So the Romans brought with them the architects. Then during this time, or during the Roman reign, there was this thing we call the Pax Romana. When we talk of the Pax Romana, Pax means peace. Okay? So the Pax Romana during this period was the Roman peace. Remember, the Greek brought about the common language that united people. The Romans are now coming with the Roman peace. Okay? So the world was peaceful. The good roads were being made. Why? Most probably to facilitate the coming ministry of Christ. We may not know. So God placed these kingdoms strategically for this. Also, the Roman brought with them the power, the hierarchy of power. That there is a king, there's that who follows the king up to the village level. The Romans also brought with them the justice system. That anyone who was found guilty of something was to be taken to the court of law to explain or to be found guilty and what? And charged in the courts of law. All these system, all these hierarchy of system or of power was brought by the Roman what? By the Roman power. So that's why as I look it, or as I look into this period, I can name it or I can refer to it as a preparation period, preparing for the coming Messiah. Also, let me tell you, that it is during this period that John the Baptist was born. Yeah, John, the precursor of Christ, or the precursor to the ministry of Christ, was born. We all know the work of John. John was to prepare the way. John was to prepare the hearts of people for the coming Messiah. I told you, the three kingdoms were made there to prepare the world. I suggest to prepare the world physically for the coming Messiah. Good roads, good culture, one language, unity, peace. That was for the what? For the Roman, the Greece, and the Persian empires. But when John was born to prepare the people spiritually. Remember, the Gospel of John was to changing of hearts, repent, and get saved. And John himself confirms that there's a person who is coming, who shall baptize you with fire and spirit, but me I baptize you with what? With water. So John was just a precursor to the ministry of Christ. John was preparing the way. So when we look at this period, we see people preparing. John is being born to prepare the people physically. Books are being written. The Deuterocanonical books are being written, which are later being added into the Bible as the Catholic and the Eastern Orthodox Bibles have it. It is during this period where the kingdoms come and prepare the world physically. It is also during this period that John the Baptist is being born to prepare the hearts of people spiritually. So guys, that's all about the intertestamental period. You can call it the 400 silent years. Why is it called the 400 silent years? Because God went silent. God did not send any prophet to talk to the people of Israel. Maybe God went silent in preparation for the coming of his only begotten Son. So this period, the world was prepared. That's why it is written in the Bible that at the opportune time, Christ was born. After all these had been made perfect, Christ was born. Christ was born in a peaceful world. Christ was born in a world where people spoke maybe to 70% one language, maybe one culture, right? So Christ was born in a period where the hearts of people were prepared. That's why people during this time were longing for their Messiah. Their hearts had been prepared by John for the coming Messiah. So that's all about the period, the 400 silent period, or the intertestamental period. For me, I call it the preparation period, preparing for the gospel of Christ. May God bless us. Please subscribe. Please give it a thumbs up. Most likely, you share. Let's meet in our next episode.